So the sacrifices come out, and I just finished the quest. The quest was phenomenal. What I want to say right before I get into this video, you already read the title, you already know what we're going to go over. We're going to go over the explanation of the ending of the quest, or the quest in its entirety. I'm going to go over points that came up all throughout this great cinematic quest and what exactly that ending meant. So if you haven't played the quest yet, major spoilers ahead. So make sure that you have already played the quest, because you do not want to not experience this for yourself. What is going on, guys? It is your fellow TDefton here, back with another video on Warframe. So today I wanted to talk about the elephant in the room, the sacrifice, the big quest that DE has been talking about for quite some time, and that they have actually worked up within the past couple of months. Now, I just finished playing the quest and I really enjoyed it, but I read a few people who actually didn't. They were kind of disappointed, and I can understand why, but I wanted to do this video kind of explaining what was going on in the quest for those of you who played it and enjoyed it, but you didn't really understand the ending, or you didn't really understand what was going on throughout it, or maybe to the people who didn't enjoy it, but they didn't really understand the quest properly. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to try and explore what exactly went on in this quest. So the first thing that I want to talk about is what the Warframes are, and that is one of the big, I guess you could call it a plot hole, but it's really just a missing piece of the puzzle to the story of Warframe. We don't exactly know what these things are, but this quest is a quest that actually answered that question. We finally got the answer to exactly what the Warframes are and where they come from. Some of this is going to be a little bit, just a little bit of speculation, but most of it is what we've seen in the quest, and you'll understand once I actually get into it. In this quest, we see this Warframe, Umbra. We see the Umbra Excalibur Umbra. We see this Warframe, and we're not exactly sure what's going on, but when we come into contact with it, when we build the Warframe and we actually, like, you know, touch it physically, we kind of try and transference, or we try and use transference to use the Warframe, but instead we start getting the memories of the Warframe, and we start learning what's going on with the Warframe. So we try and activate transference on this Warframe that we just finished building, which happens to be the Umbra Warframe. We can't actually go inside of the Warframe, and instead we get a projection of this memory, and it's actually the memory of the Warframe itself. And that's really odd, because, you know, that's something we never really see before. Like, Warframes don't really have memories. They're not conscious things. They're Warframe. I mean, they're just vessels, you know. They're just husks. They're puppets that we use. But in this case, we have a Warframe that actually has a memory, and because of this, we get to see Ballas and this Warframe actually being created. We see this scene where this person is kind of in a deathbed sort of thing, and we learn that he is actually getting taken over by the Technocyte virus, which is the same virus that affects the infested in infested missions. But this is very different. It seems like it's very controlled. It seems like it's very planned, and that's because it's planned by Ballas. And Ballas actually took, we learned this in the quest as well, he actually took the best Dax soldiers, whether they liked it or not, and turned them into Warframes. What he did to accomplish this goal is he took the Dax soldiers and he infected them with the Technocyte virus, and he let the virus take over their bodies to the point where they are on the brink of madness, and their bodies are completely taken over. He says something along the lines of the skin becomes sword steel or something like that, which implies the durability of, you know, the Warframe skin. If you look at the Warframe skin, it's not normal skin, right? It's something else, but it's obviously organic. So that's because of the technocyte virus. Now, we see this Warframe actually going through this transformation, and Ballas keeps on mentioning, oh, you know, your son's gonna get killed, you know, the son's gonna get murdered, whatever. And this Warframe tries to fight back, but he can't because, you know, he's just in so much pain getting taken over by this virus. So we go through the quest, and we start to realize that this Warframe, this person, is actually going to end up killing his own son. And that's a memory that he keeps with him throughout the ages. This Warframe becomes savage, becomes a beast, becomes a killing machine because he has this memory of him killing his son, driving him. So from my understanding with this quest, we actually learn that the Orokin actually tried to use the Warframes by themselves without the Tenno, and probably because the Tenno weren't around at that point, or they were still trying to figure out what to do with them. But the Warframes were too feral, they were too crazy, and we actually understand this. We've actually known about this for a while, because that is exactly what goes on with the Rhino Prime description. That goes into detail of a scientist trying to control the Rhino Prime frame, and it just is not working. And that's because these Warframes have lost their minds. They're feral beasts at this point. They've been taken over by the technocyte virus, but they still have a little piece of humanity in them. One thing that was constantly said, the one thing that was constantly played up, is the duality aspect of things. Everything comes in pairs, and the Tenno and the Warframe are no different. The Warframes have their other half, which is the Tenno. The Tenno balance out the Warframes. The Warframes have this anger, and the Tenno are the things that suppress that anger and give them, you know, clarity, give them give them a purpose, really. Now, this is where I'm kind of iffy, because I don't know if it's every single Warframe has an Umbra frame, and maybe every other frame that we've built up to this point is just a carbon copy of the original. Like, it's just a cheaper version of the original Warframe. They figured out, they meaning the Orokin, figured out a way to manufacture these Warframes artificially rather than with an actual person. I feel like that's the case, and the Dax Warframe, or I'm calling them the Dax Warframes, but the Umbra Warframes, which are basically Dax soldiers that were converted into Warframes, maybe those were the original Warframes, and the Prime and the regular frames are just carbon copies of it. Not as powerful, they don't have a consciousness, but they're just vessels for the Tenno to go inside of. Okay, so now that I've explained the Warframes and exactly what they are, which is the main purpose of this quest, now I want to break down exactly what happened at the end of the quest with the Lotus. Whoa, right? So, just to go back in the past and give you a little bit of an understanding of what exactly is going on within the Warframe lore, Margulis and Ballas were actually romantically involved. They were actually together, and that was really odd, because from my understanding, Ballas was actually one of the congressmen of the Orokin Empire, and Margulis was just a human, just a person who was under the Orokin Empire. And because of that, their relationship wasn't really seen as proper. But when the Tenno came around, and the Orokin saw the Tenno as imperfect demons and wanted to just have them killed, Margulis saw something in them. She saw that they were kids, they were children, and they should not be executed. And instead, they should try and harness their powers by using transference And that's what they did. They just kept on insisting that the Tenno should be executed. Margulis obviously resisted, and she ended up getting killed. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I believe that is the reason why Ballas started talking to Hun Hao. Throughout this quest, we see that Ballas is continuously in conversation with Hun Hao, it seems like. I believe the reason why is because he has resentment of the Orokin for having Margulis executed. He does not like the Orokin because of this fact, and so, I mean, what better way to get back at the people who killed your loved one than to side with the enemy that they're fighting against? Switch sides and start talking to the enemy, and that is exactly what he did, and he started revealing secrets of the Orokin. This is where Nata comes into the picture. This is where it gets kind of hazy because we're not exactly sure how Nata accessed the memories of Margulis and actually like took on her mantle. At this point, the Tenno are hidden from the sentients, so the sentients don't really know where the Tenno are. The Tenno interact with the actual world through transference with their Warframes, and at this point, Nata knows where we are and knows how much Margulis loved us, and now she has that love too. So Margulis is now Nata, in a way. You can think of it that way. So Nata 100% is sentient, and that creates some complications within the dynamic between the Tenno and the sentients, because now the sentients have this leader who is actually, she loves us. She loves us like we are her kids, and we love her like she is our mother. But it's this weird situation where we actually have to end up fighting each other. We have to end up going up against each other because we're on different sides. And I think that creates an interesting dynamic between the Tenno and the sentients, because now you're in a situation where you have two people who used to be friends being enemies now. And I think that that's really cool. At the end of this sequence, at the end of this quest, we see the Lotus in this giant mech suit or whatever, and that is her basically being who she really is, exactly what she says. That is her going back to being sentient. That is her starting to realize, okay, this is who I am, so I kind of have to do this. So with this quest, it was a filler quest. It was a quest where we learned information that kind of left holes in the plot of Warframe. So we now understand fully what Warframes are and where they come from. We can make a good assumption about how Umbra frames are the original Warframes, and every frame beyond that is just a carbon copy of this Umbra. And we also understand that the Warframes are a technocyte virus infested person. That's basically what they are. So that's what we understand about the Warframes now. What we understand about Margulis, or the Lotus I should say, because it's technically Nata now. What we understand about Nata right now is that she is starting to become a sentient. She is moving towards being a sentient. And the reason why she left with Ballas during that one like tiny quest that we got is because Ballas was actually working with Hun Hao. He's been working with Hun Hao for a very long time. They've had this relationship ever since the Orokin Empire. So Ballas gets the Lotus, brings the Lotus back to Hun Hao, and now the Lotus is a part of the sentience again. She is starting to convert back to that faction, but she still has the memories of Margulis, and she still loves us because of it. So just because she is over on that side, that doesn't mean that she still doesn't love the Tenno, or that she doesn't love the Tenno, or never loved the Tenno. She does. She has the memories of Margulis. It's just she's in a tough situation right now where she has to choose from who she really is or just keep on pretending. She can't keep on pretending, guys. She has to go back. Now, in terms of what the name of the quest means, the sacrifice was this Warframe sacrificing his son. And you could also think of it as, you know, maybe the operator sacrificing the Lotus to the, you know, the I don't know, they're losing it to the sentience. I don't know. We're losing the Lotus to the sentience. That's a sacrifice for us. You could think of it that way as well. But definitely the reason why the quest is called the sacrifice is because Ballas actually made this Warframe sacrifice his son. And that's what turned this Warframe into a Warframe. That's what made this Warframe into a killing machine, because it had this horrible memory singed in its head for such a long time. That's all it can think about. It's a memory that it constantly goes through. And we now understand the duality between the Warframe and the Tenno. The Tenno suppresses that. The Tenno helps the Warframe calm down, or it helps the Warframe be at peace. The Tenno sees something within the Warframe that nobody else does, and vice versa. They are connected. They are a duality. They are one. So that was basically it for the video, guys. Make sure you leave a comment down below letting me know two things. One, what you think the next quest is going to be, whether it's going to be focused on Nata, if you think it's going to be focused on Hunhao, if you think it's going to be focused more on the Tenno, or do you think it's going to be like a clashing between the Tenno and the Sentients? And also, make sure you let me know what you thought about this quest down below. I need to know some opinions. Do you guys think it was good? Do you guys think it was bad? Do you think it was disappointing? Do you think it was really good? You know, it was more than you expected. Make sure you let me know down below and explain why. If you guys are new, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you are subscribed and don't have that bell rung, make sure you ring that bell, because that's the only way you get notified of my content nowadays. I try and post as often as I can, but that bell is really the best way to make sure that you know when I post. So go ahead and hit that if you haven't already. And if you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and leave a like. It would really help out the channel. It would really help out the video. And that is basically it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave those comments, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.